Hi everybody, my name is Danni Wells and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne International and regional vice president, which probably means nothing to anybody, but basically there's 4 levels of recognition in how hard you've worked in this business, and I'm at level 3, so just 1 more to go. So this video is something that has been asked of me a lot, okay, so I keep getting asked this a lot of the time, so I just thought I'd just do a video to keep you all nice and happy, so that you've got your answer. So one thing that people ask me majority of the time, is it worth it? Okay, and I get that because it was definitely something that I thought about before I decided on what I was going to do a couple of years ago. So if you don't already know my story, in an absolute nutshell, I had a really great career. I worked in ophthalmology for 7 years, loved it, and then when I had my first daughter, I did actually return to work part-time. So I was part-time working, part-time mum. Although actually we have a part-time parent, but you know what I mean. It was when we had our second daughter that it completely changed, because we didn't have like a plan B. You never kind of think the unpredictable is going to happen to you. You just don't think that it does. But it did for us, and we had to think on our feet quickly. You know, she was born with a lot of difficulties, and she actually had a brain hemorrhage and a stroke. So it meant that either me or my husband needed to be her full-time carer and give up our careers. So I decided to do that, and we didn't have a plan B. You know, there was no plan B. So I did this for a couple of years and was searching for something plan B that I wish I'd had before, and loads of things came into my path, but nothing that was right for us. And I'm a big believer in the most important thing in life is time. And I think for a lot of people, they spend majority of their time making money a priority. So they spend 40 hours a week working to bring in the money, and everything fits around that job. And that's how we used to be. You know, me and my husband both used to have 40 hours each a week at work, and then everything fitted around it. So work was like the top priority. And I don't think it should be that way. I think family should be your top priority. You should open up your diary and put in everything that you want to do with your family and fit work around that. But most people don't, mainly because their boss won't let them. So time is really, really important to us. So when I took a look at Arbonne, I thought to myself, is it worth it? Because I'd looked at loads of different things, and it just wasn't. It wasn't worth my time, energy, and efforts. And for some instances, financial investments as well. You know, for franchise, you're looking at easily between £50,000 and £200,000. And yeah, you know, it's great, you can make money from franchise, but for me it wasn't worth what I was going to have to sacrifice, which was not just financial, but also a lot of my time was going to have to go into it to make sure that that franchise, that business that we'd started was up and running, and have the staff issue and all of that. So no, that wasn't worth it for me. And obviously it is for some people, that's great. So Arbonne, is it worth it? So I want to address that, because the nutshell answer is yes, it is for me, but it isn't for everybody. So I'm going to address it. The things that you have to do when you start an Arbonne business, and to run an Arbonne business takes a level of sacrifice, like anything. You know, if something's easy, there's a catch in it, okay? You know, not want to be negative, but it is. If it's easy, it's a bit sleazy, you know. There has to be an element of sacrifice and things that you're willing to give up in order to receive something, and that's no different with Arbonne, okay? Same as any business. So it costs just over £50 to start your business. And one thing people used to ask me was, you know, this is a company that want people to use their products, why do you have to pay to get started? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, but for some people it's not, so I'll address that. Basically, Arbonne is a manufacturer of these gorgeous products. You know, Peter Mork, who founded this company 36 years ago, created it not with a passion for profit. He wasn't thinking about profit at all, because he was already a really successful man, didn't need the extra money. He created this business because he believed there was nothing else out there that people could buy that was products that were free of all the nasties, so free of all the things that were causing massive health problems to people, like we all know, parabens, mineral oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, formaldehyde donating preservatives, all of these awful things that are put into products, in pretty much 99.9% of products. He wanted to create a product line that were free of those, and what he wanted to do was have these products move through only word of mouth referrals. So people get paid who have spent their time using the products themselves and referring somebody else to this brand, because that means that they're bringing in an extra income stream which is great. He was all about helping support people, and also it gave people back a bit of their identity as well, because a lot of people lose their identity either when they have children or all they're doing is just working. You know, it gives back that bit of their identity again, and Petter was a real people person. And also because they're not sold in shops, it means they don't have to go up in price 80 to 90%, which we all know is what happens. The foundation that I used to use pre-Arbonne, I used to pay £27 for it every 2 to 3 months, and I used to get my little foundation. It would come from the department store. It cost 3 pence to make. So this is the sort of price increase that happens when products go to the shops. So he wanted to absolutely cut that out. So these products, like you are talking very high quality products. If they were sold in shops, you're talking near £1,000 for products, but because they're not sold in shops, the price is brought right down. So you're looking at, so let's say that foundation again, for an Arbonne foundation, you're looking at £33 rather than paying, say, £400. So you're getting a really great product, but it's not having to pay for the whole shop process. So he made this company from a passion for that. I liken him to Walt Disney, actually. Walt Disney wasn't about the profit, although Disney World and all the Disney, the whole company makes a lot of money. Of course it does, but it's not actually about that. It's about giving something back to people. And Walt Disney was all about that as well. He had this vision to create this theme park, which had never been done before. It was completely unnerving to a lot of people because they'd never really heard, why do you want to do that? That's the same with Arbonne. People are like, why doesn't it sell in the shop? Why doesn't it pay for advertising? You know, because these men are visionaries. They are thinking about people. And the people that want to work within these companies, whether it's Disney or Arbonne or another visionary-led company, are passionate about people. You know, we're not. One thing I guess is, you know, I'm not a salesperson. Great, because that's not what this company is about. It's actually about helping people and giving back. So that's why this company was created. And so for me, the fact is, number one, I'm working for a company that is in line with my beliefs and my ethics, because everything that Arbonne is pretty much what I am and what I teach my children, which is giving back and helping regardless, and being honest and having integrity. Because I think when you work for a company that is all about sales, and I have worked for companies before, which, you know, the sales targets, it's all about making those sales. It doesn't matter what's right for that person or not. You just make those sales and get those targets done, which I was rubbish at because I'm not actually that good at that. I'm not actually good at sales, but I am good at caring about people and listening to what they want and finding a solution for them for what they're looking for. And that's what a lot of consultants in Arbonne are all about. So it's worth it in terms of an emotional need. So let's ignore the financial gain to this company for a minute and just think about the emotional thing that you gain from working with Arbonne. You gain emotionally a part of you. And if you is all about giving and helping and providing solutions and seeing a difference in other people, this ticks all of those boxes. So for me, on its own, that is worth it, because I get to see people come to me telling me that they've got a skin condition or their child's got rough skin and they're in the night scratching and itching. They've got terribly broken, aggravated, angry skin. These children are up the night screaming in pain, and my children were the same as well. And I get to provide a solution for them that could possibly be the answer. And to date, I haven't had a client yet that has not had a massive success, and it's been life-changing for them using these products. And you know, that emotionally in itself is incredible. You can't see it right now, but the back of my office space, there's no more space right now for all the thank you cards that I get from people saying, thank you, because of you my child is no longer scratching and bleeding, or because of you I can leave the house without makeup on because my skin is glowing. And you know, our makeup isn't about covering up, it's about enhancing what's already there if you want it there. We're all about, because you know, the skin itself, you know, living and breathing. So from an emotional point of view, it is so worth it if you want to feel like you're the most helpful person in the world, and you get to grow your confidence, you get to grow you as a person. It's just incredible. So from an emotional point of view, oh my gosh, yes. And I work with thousands and thousands and thousands of men and women that do this because of that emotional need. And they've already got great jobs, they've already got great incomes, they're already flying with what they're doing, but they haven't got that emotional connection. A lot of property investors, you know, they're buying these houses and then they're selling them on or renting them out, and they're making, you're talking millions and millions of pounds here, but they haven't got that emotional, like, yes, when they get home in the evening. But then they have an Arbonne business and they have that emotional connection. That's why a lot of people are an Arbonne consultant, for that emotional need. So is it worth it in terms of that? Oh my God, yes. And you don't even need to say any more about that. So from a financial point of view, we all only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you have a job, so for me, if I wasn't an Arbonne consultant, I'd have a job that was 8 hours a day. I'd work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and at the end of the month I'd get paid, let's say, £1,000. So I'm exchanging my time, I'm getting paid. Now when I stop doing that exchange of my time, I don't get paid. So if I go on holiday, I don't get paid unless it's a very small like holiday pay. If I'm sick, I don't get paid. If my children are sick, I don't get paid. If somebody dies in my family and I take 6 months off grieving, I don't get paid. So it is a very much exchanging time for money thing. Now for me, I understood the power of residual income, because everybody that has the time freedom, the reason why people have the time freedom and they can do what they want with their lives is because they've got a residual income, which basically means they've got money coming into their bank account every single month, regardless as to what they're doing with their time. So I'm talking about people that win the lottery, people that have invested into things, they've invested into property or into businesses, or they've got assets, things like that, or the stock market. So they've got money coming into their bank account every single month. So if they would decided to take 5 years out and just go traveling around the world, they've always got money coming into their bank account. You know, you're talking thousands and thousands of pounds coming into their bank account every single month. So that is residual income. It's like buying a property and it being rented out, and you've got money coming into your bank account every single month. Or a royalty type income. So if you wrote a book or made a CD, you've done that work once, it's off on sale on Amazon, every single time somebody buys it on Amazon, you get paid that. So you've got that royalty income, residual income. So for me, learning to be an Arbonne consultant meant building up residual income. Now, of course, it's not going to happen overnight. You know, you're not going to become an Arbonne consultant on Monday and on Wednesday you've got residual income. It takes time to build that up. But the fact is that you can, you know, and most of the jobs you can't. So yes, it's so worth it. You know, it only took me 11 months, and I know that's particularly quick, and I worked really hard those 11 months, and the average is like 2 years to get to the 3rd level. And that's where you start to see that income, it's like royalty income, because you've helped people with their shopping, with their skincare, with their hair care, with their nutrition. You know, you've really made a difference and helped people. And then all they then have to do is log onto the website and order the products that they want to order, and they get courier delivered straight to their door every time that they order. So you as the owner of your business, once you've met that client and showed them what to do, can sort of take a backseat, and it's automatic. It's just done. Where, you know, you can be on holiday and look on your phone at your business, and before you know it, you're looking at £100,000 of products have moved through your business that day. It's like owning shares in Amazon. So it's absolutely incredible. And of course, like I say, I emphasize that does not happen overnight. It builds up over time. But once it's built, it's incredible and it's willable. So that's another really big thing for me, because where I was working before, if anything happened to me, my boss wouldn't have given anything to my children to support them financially. Whereas I'm building my Arbonne business, it's taking my time, energy and effort to build it. I know if anything happens to me, my children are going to inherit a multi-million-pound business that sees them financially secure for the rest of their life. They're going to receive that financial payment every single month from my business. That is a willable asset, a willable business. So, oh my gosh, is it worth it? For that in itself, yes. So that is one thing that I really say to people. I say, is what you're currently doing now, one, worth your time? Does it feel an emotional need? And do you finish your job and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, I've made such a difference to somebody? And 3, is it willable? You know, is it something that if anything happens to you, you can give like £1 million or £500,000 business to somebody else, to your children, to your parents, to your spouse? It's incredible, absolutely incredible. So are things that you have to sacrifice and give up, because there are things that you have to sacrifice and give up. You have to learn something that you've probably got no knowledge about at all, like riding a bike. You have to spend time investing in yourself and in your business to learn everything that you need to learn about. And it is a learnable business, but you do need to learn about it. It's like doing a degree at university. You know, you need to think about this as like you're learning a degree, you're going to spend 3 years learning this degree, but that 3 years of learning, it's like online learning. So you can cram that into a short space of time. You can spread it out over longer. It doesn't matter. For me, I crammed it all into 11 months. On the Arbonne website, we have an online university which is completely free, and you just do it at your leisure. So you learn the business. We have weekly online trainings, which is on Sunday night, and we just log on. It's completely free to have incredible training that people would pay a lot of money to have. We have that for free. We have access to that for free. If that's on a Sunday night, and if you can't get on live, it's the recording is posted. It's incredible. And then once a month we have a meeting where we all meet up in person, and these happen all over the world as well. So it doesn't really matter where you live, because there's always one local to everybody, where we can come along once a month and again just build our knowledge up. So it's just building your awareness and your knowledge up. So it does take sacrifice. So the things that I sacrifice will be different to every single other person, but I sacrifice time watching TV. So I didn't really have any extra time, so I cut out watching TV to read books, to go on to online learning, to go on to training, to do all those different things I needed to build my knowledge up. I didn't go to every single social event that I would have liked to have gone to in those first 11 months. Now it's great because I've got complete time freedom, so I can choose to do what I want to do now. But when I was building this business, I sacrificed those things. I didn't put my children to bed every single night. And yeah, I think for a lot of parents that's a bit of a sting, because you think, well, I'm building this business so I can spend more time with my children, but I feel like I'm spending less time with my children because I'm not putting them to bed, because I'm out doing this and I'm doing that, I'm doing that. And I get that as a mum, I completely get that. But for me, I thought if I go literally dive straight in for a year, that was like my plan. I did it in 11 months, but my goal was if I go all in for 1 year, and yeah, 3 nights out of a week, maybe my husband puts the children to bed and I don't. But after I built this business, my children are going to have their dad retire, which he was able to leave his job and pursue his own dream. They're going to have mum and dad with them. We're going to be out on holidays. Like, what we're going to have from that short-term sacrifice is priceless. So if somebody said to you, you can win, let's say £3 million in the lottery, but for 1 year, you have to sacrifice not putting your children to bed 3 nights a week, and you have to sacrifice TV, and you have to sacrifice learning a whole new language, let's say, because I suppose it is like a new language, and you have to sacrifice half the social events that you'd be invited to, would you say yes? Would you sacrifice those things for a short period to have what you're going to get in the long run? And it's not about the money, but the money makes life a lot easier, because it means you've got more time together. It means that you can do what you want to do with your time. It means you open up your diary and you put in all your family time first, and you fit your work around that, which is great. Something else that you have to do as well, which is challenging, is you have to be your own boss. So you don't have a boss in this business. You have a team of people around you that support you and help you and everything, but you have to be the one that's self-motivated enough to read books and not watch TV. You have to be the one that's self-motivated enough to attend trainings when you really can't be bothered. You're so tired and exhausted. The kids have been up all night. You have to be so self-motivated, because no one's going to motivate you. It doesn't matter how many times you might ring somebody up and say, oh, this has happened, and you're basically saying, motivate me, motivate me, motivate me. It's not going to happen. You're your own business, you're your own business, you're your own brand, you're your own boss, and it's all about these habits that we have to develop. No one's going to motivate you. People will support you and encourage you. You have to motivate yourself, and that is challenging. I think that's why a lot of people start the business and they want somebody to motivate them and tell them what to do. It just doesn't happen in any business, and this is no different. And that's challenging. You have to be willing to take the rough with the smooth, because like any business, the highs are incredible, but the lows are painful. And I think the lows in this business are, I think some people think you're absolutely balmy, that they look at you and they think, why are you building an online business? You don't know anything about online, you don't know anything about sales, you don't know anything about skincare, nutrition and cosmetics. And they look at you, like, look you up and down and think, and you think you're going to grow a multi-million-pound business, do you? Like, yeah. And they can give you grief about it. And I think it comes from a place of not the company, because obviously the company works, because of course it does. We're talking, this is like $1 billion company, of course that works, and it's worked for millions of people. But what they're saying is, you're not the type of person that is willing to make this work. And that's what it was for me. My friends and my family thought I'd lost my mind. And it wasn't about the business, it wasn't about network marketing. They just didn't think that I was the type of person that was willing to make this work. They were like, oh, she'll quit in a few weeks. She's not in it for the long haul, because you do have to be in it for the long haul. You do. You have to be willing to build it until you get to a point where you think, oh, I've built it. Like, this is incredible. And a lot of people don't do what is needed. So their friends and family know that. They know they're a quitter. People knew I was a quitter. Like, she's a quitter. Like, she's never, ever going to see this through. So you have to be willing to take those low points, because people are waiting to see you fail and quit so that they can be proved right. And you kind of have to do the opposite and prove them wrong and be in it to the long haul. So people are willing you to fail, as horrible as that sounds. And I suppose it's the same when somebody says they're going to go on X Factor and sing a song. You know, as much as people are like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, it's never going to happen. So you have to be in it for the long haul. You know, when we see bands and singers, we just see like this glorious band. We don't see that it took them 4 years of hard work and graft and sacrifice to get there. And if somebody tells you, I'm going to spend 4 years working hard so I can go on the X Factor and be in a band, people are like, it's never going to happen. And we know the X Factor works. We know people are singers and bands and everything. That's great, but we don't believe that that person is going to make the sacrifices willing to make that happen. So that can be really hard. That is really challenging, having to prove people wrong. And it can be exhausting, you know, when you're constantly getting people say that you're going to quit, you're never going to stick this out, you know, as if you're going to give up TV and start reading books instead. It's if you're going to learn about skincare, look at your own skin. You know, when people saying these things, it can really knock you down. But this is why only a small percentage do make it in any business. I'm not just talking online businesses, I'm talking any business, because they can't deal with the grief of people disbelieving them. But the people that do prove people wrong, they are the multimillionaires. They're the people that really prove to everybody that you could be anything if you want to be, if you work hard enough and you make those sacrifices and you do what it needs to do. So is it worth it? That depends on what you want. If you want an emotional what's the word, like that great emotional feeling every day, if you want residual income, so you've got time freedom, if you want to have fun, if you are willing to learn, so if you want all those things that you get from this business, of course it's worth it. Yes. If you're quite happy working 40 hours a week and opening up your diary and putting your work hours in first and fitting everything else around it and having 4 weeks off a year and not having 20 weeks off a year, if you're happy doing what you're doing, and you know that when you retire, your pension's probably going to be less than 20% of what you're used to earning right now, so you're going to have to cut right back, probably sell your house. Now, goodness knows what's going to happen. If that is where you're happy, then you're probably not going to do the sacrifices needed to build this business. So you're probably better off not. Okay, and I mean that from a real kind place, because it does take sacrifice to build any business, and this is no different. So if you want more and you're willing to do more to have more, then yes, it's worth it. But if you're happy with where you're at right now, you're not going to do what you need to do to make it work. So in that case, it's not worth it for you. So it's a very individual thing. So for me, it's totally worth it. But because I wanted more, I didn't want to be on benefits. I didn't want my husband working 7 days a week. I didn't want us to open up our diary and put our work hours in first. I wanted to open up my diary and put my family in first, which I get to do now. I wanted to have that emotional connection. I wanted to grow as a person. I wanted to become a better person. I wanted to be able to give thousands of pounds a month to charities. I wanted to be able to volunteer at any charity I wanted, not think, well, I don't have the time or the resources. I wanted more. And if you want more, then this is a great way to get more. You do have to work at it. It is a business like anything. It does take sacrifice. It does take time, energy, and effort. It takes being beaten to the ground and having to get back up every single time the wind has been taken from your sails. But if you are willing to do what it takes, then you will gain the rewards that you are given from this business. So I hope that helps. One last thing before I end is, if you've read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, then you will know, and if you haven't, then I'm going to tell you anyway. He says to reach the pinnacle of success in anything, whether it's building a business like this, or it's becoming an athlete or a musician, or whatever your passion is, it requires 10,000 hours of investment of your time, not money. 10,000 hours of your time. So if you want to learn to play piano, when you've played that piano for 10,000 hours over however many years, you're an expert, you've mastered it, you've done. And this business is the same. So 10,000 hours could be, I think it's like 10 hours a week for 4 years, something like that. It's crazy. I mean, you guys might have to work that out. I crammed that all into 11 months. I literally cram books on the internet, you know, learning this business, 10,000 hours, and you will, I want to say you will be, but I don't know if I can. You're pretty much guaranteed to be an expert and a multi-millionaire at this business if you obviously invest those 10,000 hours in the right place. Okay, I will say that, which I did, and I see other people do that, and it's incredible if what you want is what this business is going to give you. So I hope that that's been useful, and that's answered everybody's question. Goodbye.